Let me make this clear. I've never slept with someone in a position of power, nor do I ever plan on it. However, I am dying to see a woman get online and say, yeah, I slept my way to the top. How do you think I make millions? Yes, I slept my way to the top. Boys are stupid. They're idiots. You sleep with them, and then all of a sudden you're making millions. Yeah, I slept my way to the top. They give you jobs because you sleep with them. It's easy. I slept with a guy once. Guess what? He promoted me. Like, that's the type of shit. It's like, it's kind of a double-edged sword when you think about it, because it's like, I understand the whole, well, if a woman sleeps her way to the top, like, she sets other women back. There's always going to be a woman willing to sleep her way to the top. Always. There will always be a woman. So it's like, if you can't beat them, join them. Low key. Not me. Once again, not me. I'm perfectly happy right where I am. Don't feel the need to sleep my way to the top. But with that being said, it's like, I want to see a badass bitch say, yes, I fucking did. Someone else was going to do it. I decided it was going to be me. Like villain for sure, but villain arc would kind of go crazy, you know? I'm gonna get flamed for this, I think.
At this point, I think it's obvious to women everywhere that men are in deep, deep crisis. They're broken. They're addicted to corn and substances and validation. Instead of providing for women and children, they've become parasites. Instead of protecting, they've become our greatest threat. Yet they are still totally dependent on female energy and labour just to function. Due to the devolvement of society, the average man is narcissistic, abusive, manipulative and deceptive, cruel and selfish.
You know when people say to beautiful women, how are you single? You could literally have any man you want. They could have any man they want, and they still chose not to be with one. What's that fucking tell you? They could have any man they want, and they are still choosing not to be with one. That's how bad it is out there. It's rough.
I love being pretty. Like, I love being pretty. I don't know life without being pretty. I've always been pretty. And I just love being pretty. Like, sometimes I be going through shit and I realize, like, I'm so fucking pretty. Like, and I don't care what nobody say. That shit helps sometimes. Like, that it can't solve all your problems, but being pretty, it has a lot of advantages. And to be drop dead gorgeous is a problem. But it's like, you gotta know that you're gorgeous, because if you don't know you're gorgeous, it's kind of like, you're not gonna get where I'm coming from. But if you're gorgeous, bitch, and you know you're gorgeous, you know what I'm saying. Like, being pretty just makes everything a little bit lighter.
Hey guys, I actually don't think a man will ever love me for anything more than just me being a hole with some awesome knockers and awesome rear on me. I don't think they'll ever take me seriously. I don't think they'll ever actually view me as a human, but I'm trying. Every day I'm trying. Hey, get to know me. Hey, get to know me. It's not going well. It's not going well.
That's all you're good for.
Can we talk about the fact that men are literally the new females of the generation? To think that they used to go to war and fight for the country is mental, because now they walk around smoking flavoured air and they want to be treated like princesses, and they have absolutely no emotional intelligence whatsoever, and they get in little strops. And do you know what? Oh, it does my head in. When you get in a mood, so then they get in a mood back with you because you're in a mood. Sorry. What happened to being a man and helping me and protecting me? God, it's a joke. It's an actual joke. Is it just me that feels this way, or is that just how men are? Because if it is, you lot need to look. You need to have a long, hard look in the mirror and think, is this really... Would my dad be proud of who I am? Probably not.
For years, the narrative was that any sexual dynamic involving a power imbalance was inherently coercive, a systemic evil that required a global movement to dismantle. The same demographic that marched against the coercive control is now romanticizing the idea of using sex as a shortcut to corporate power. They want the protection of being a victim when things go south, but they want the high fives for being an idiot slayer when they successfully trade intimacy for a corner office. They've managed to turn the very behaviour they once called violence into a career hack, completely neglecting the actual victims of harassment in the process.
She's a whore.
She's diagnosing the entire male population with a list of pathologies, addiction, narcissism, and devolvement, because the modern man has finally stopped seeing the traditional contract as a winning deal. When she calls men parasites for not providing and protecting on command, she's actually grieving the loss of her own leverage. She can't conceive of a reality where men find fulfillment in their own stoicism, their own brotherhood, or their own hobbies. The crisis she's describing is simply the sound of men deciding that her approval isn't worth the price of admission anymore.
I don't fall for that shit anymore.
When she says a beautiful woman can have any man she wants, the reality is that she can get her back blown out by most men, but she can't secure the commitment of the top-tier men she feels entitled to. She boasts about having access to the top 10% of men, but when those men refuse to settle down, she retreats into this narrative that it's just too rough out there. It's a classic ego preservation tactic. She'd rather believe that she's choosing not to be with anyone than admit her personality has priced her out of the very relationship she actually wants. By saying that's how bad it is, she's convincing herself that the lack of a quality partner is a global supply issue rather than a reflection of her own inability to get a high-value man to commit to her.
She's damaged goods.
When she says she doesn't know life without being pretty, she's admitting that she's never had to develop a single personality trait or skill that wasn't subsidized by her looks. To her, being gorgeous isn't just an attribute, it's a universal get-out-of-jail-free card that she expects the world to honor indefinitely. The psychological trap here is that she's tethered her entire self-worth to a biological window that is already closing. She thinks knowing she's gorgeous is a superpower, but it's actually a disability in the long run because it prevents her from ever having to be useful. It's all fun and games while the mirror is still lying to her, but the transition from being drop-dead gorgeous to just another person in the room is going to be the most brutal reality check she never prepared for.
You will hit a wall.
She's frustrated because she can't find a man willing to play a traditional role in a world where she refuses to offer the traditional reciprocity that made the deal work. In her mind, being a man means being an infinite resource of patience and protection, regardless of how she treats him. When he stops performing and reacts like a human being, she calls it a crisis of masculinity. She isn't looking for a boyfriend, she's looking for a servant who's tough enough to take the world's hits and soft enough to never push back against hers.
Boy, she really is dumb.
Real men of genius.